Chapter 11, Purchasing Hazardous Material for Testing. Section 11.1, Purpose. The purpose of chapter is to provide you with guidance for the implementation of the OHME Hazardous Material Testing Program. The safety consideration you may take into account how much you need to buy for testing, how much you will pay for the samples you want, how you will obtain the chain of custody for samples and other information. Section 11.2, Scope. OHME Purchasing obtains samples of materials for three methods. 1. Directly from the vendor, originally from the OHME, taking the physical possession of the samples, delivering the laboratory facility. 2nd, delivery of the vendor of origin. The OHME identifies the tagging of samples and is warrant and having vendorship of the laboratory facilities of indirectly vendor arranging the companies in the same business and examples of OMHE behalf. In determining the method to use, you need to consider the relative risk of public different type of suspected violations. The risk, those are reflected in the basic line prescribed for a different type of violations. The OHME guidelines of civil penalties A, Appendix A to Subpart B, or Subpart D, Appendix A to Subpart D of the Title 49 CFR Part 107. Section 1.3 Procedures, 11.3 Procedures. 11.3 Safety. You should exercise reasonable care, discretion in selecting materials and testing. When you are selecting materials from testing, you must consider the following: potential risk during transportation, storage, incident with transportation due to the nature of the quantity of the material is involved, perceiving experience of hazardous material and regulated entity abilitate and safety transportation of product in question in laboratory. Cost of testing. You may ask any regulated entity a sample of one or more hazardous materials. It often offers transportation. You must request a sample which we believe may not be compliant, or you must request a sample of solely checked identified classification. You must choose either option of sample of the manufacturer's facility or a purchase of sample of product at the customer location. Prior to accident, hazardous material for testing, thorough and material safety data sheets, the MSDS, and other available safety data that are concerning the material. If you have any doubt of any transportation specimen safety, government vehicle don't understand circumstances you offer can cause introduce hazardous material or for transportation and commerce, unless authorized to do so in writing the associate administrator in hazardous material safety. In those instances involving commercial transportation, when the subject entity alleged suspected to be in violation of applicable rule, regulation of civil, criminal, and statute involving hazardous material, OHME evaluates the nature of suspected offenses and investigatory steps and anticipated and associated risks prior to the indirect purchase. In purchasing material throughout entity, and there's only one feasible way to purchase material, and that such purchase is potentially involving the commercial transportation of hazardous material in form of supervisor who will notify the enforcement officer directly. OHME headquarters. All parties will discuss logistics plan purchases to ensure the transportation risk is acceptable and all safety precautions taken. 11.32 Quantity. In purchases, sampling, testing, and obtaining the minimal amounts necessary to conduct a validate testing, making sure the obtaining measure materials which are made ordinarily a shipping may be purchased and material question in the shipper and distributor in gallon, quart, and pin quantities, package, and sold shipper. Only once a product is identified in testing, request a small possible sample sufficient to facilitate accurate testing, usually 100 grams for a solid or 100 millimeter liquids are insufficient. If product package and supply the original package is preferred as the long quality is responsible. 1 gallon or 1 pound of the maximum quantity what should be for most testing. Disposable charges are included in test contract, so large quantities excess materials are discouraged. Never draw or extract raw samples from the samples themselves, and specialized clothing safety training and covering hazardous material handling is required. Reimbursement. 11.33 Reimbursement. A company may be provided material at no cost and government ever respond. Reasonability. You may pay the material that later may claim the reimbursement on the travel check voucher. Please document all transaction obtaining clearly verifiable receipts. You may also pay the sample before using regional office impact credit card for a situation where you should regional access security policies relating to impact accounts, which Prior condition: a purchase order can be arranged. Purchase may never be used. May be used by your personal government credit card. 11.3.4 Chain of custody. Once the sample is turned over to you, treat it as evidence. Secure the seal of closure on the OHME standard evidence. Identify each product report number, and even if several products are involved in unique suffix 964220054A, 96442055B, etc. Make sure the shield material is extremely temperature light and deliver it to the lab as soon as possible. Take photograph material as in departing the inspection site and obtain material safety data sheets. MSDS sample billing of landing, providing an MSDS testing of lab references, safe handling material. 11.3.5 Notification. For account tracking purposes, please notify the supervisor about the purchasing as soon as possible. Prepare only any other tracking forms according to your own standard operations procedures, SOPs. Contract lab performs its test results and indicate the material to be the probable that you should result in the company used and approved a notification letter that provided that, say, an example, the material does not comply with the regulation. You should arrangement with the testing lab to store remaining material, facilitate additional and subsequent testing should be the test result of being challenged. 11.4 Policy regarding animal testing for corrosivity. Arranging the test of material for corrosivity, please inform the prospective laboratory that you want testing to conduct using corrosivity testing protocol. The testing using animals is not required. The advised laboratory testing using animals is conducted only when absolutely necessary. 11.5 Minor. Keep in mind the purpose of the program is safely purchase package samples, hazardous materials, and never deliberately yourself to raw chemicals of any kind, if at all possible. Then we get a letter from VI certified mail return receipt requested. It's with enclosures, the laboratory, it's a form, production names, request for laboratory services, inspection form, and it goes on to chapter 12. How to place an order and